A very good morning to the students. My name is Dr. Gaurav Kant Shankadar. I am from the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science from the School of Basic Sciences and the Babu Banarsi Das University. So today I am taking up the lecture on type coercion and type casting. Type coercion is the automatic conversion of a datum from one data type to another within an expression. Type coercion is dealt naturally by the Java system. We do not need to do anything regarding the conversion of a particular data type to another data type. It gets automatically casted by the Java system. Okay, so type coercion is the automatic conversion of a data from one particular data type to another data type. But this happens with some promises, like it is only done whenever low storing data type is variable is cast to a variable of a data type that is of a bigger size. So in that case, widening occurs, and so there is no problem for the system and no information is lost. Like in this example, we can see that a constant 1 is an integer, but its context requires a double value. Okay, like double x is equal to 1. 1 is an integer, but x that is defined to be taking up the value of the variable, or value of 1 is defined to be of double data type. Now this is coercion because 1 is treated as an integer by default, and then x is assigned the value of 1, and x itself is a double data type. Now double data type has greater capacity as compared to integer data type, so widening occurs and there's no problem or no data is lost. So this is known as data coercion. Many programming languages including Java allow type coercion as a convenience to the programmer. When there are long expressions, lengthy expressions that need to be sorted out or that need to be computed to give some value, then coercion automatically takes place, and it is of no concern by the programmer. Whenever a smaller data type variable is assigned to a bigger data type variable, then coercion occurs, and it occurs automatically. Like in this example, we see that double, average and sum. So sum and average are two variables that are defined to be of double data type. Then there is another integer variable known as count, and then after a few statements there is average is equal to sum divided by count. Now we will analyze this statement and we will this expression, and we will figure out that what exactly the use of type coercion is. That happens automatically by the system. Average is equal to sum divided by count. Now count is an integer and sum is a double variable. So what happens over here is average, it also declared as to be doubled, that is of a greater size as compared to sum. So the overall the greatest size is double, and the other data type in question is the integer. So although hidden within a Java statement, type conversions are real machine operations performed on the data as the program executes. So what is happening over here? Like average is equal to sum divided by count. First of all, the value of sum is fetched. What is the value of sum? As you can see, we have not yet defined any value of sum, but we have just declared it to be a variable of data type double. So whatever the value of sum is fetched, and then the value of count is fetched, and count is defined to be, as you can see over here, it is an integer. So both of these values of sum and count are fetched. Then what happens is the value of count is converted to a floating point value. Why? Because the division is performed, and then what happens is performs floating point division and it stores the result into memory allocated to average. Okay, so this is how this works. Now to explicitly specify the conversion of data types within a Java program, use a typecast. whatever we have understood up till now is that we can either do, we do not have to do coercing if it is happening. Like if there's a data type, that a variable that is of a data type which is less in size as compared to the data type variable to which it is assigned, then automatic coercion takes place. Coercion is automatic. But suppose if there is a data type that is greater in size as compared to the variable of the data type to which is assigned, that is, the data type of the variable that is to the right side of the equal to is less than, is greater than that the data type, the variable of the data type to the left side of the equal to. In that case, if coercion is done automatically, then there may be data loss. Like if a double value is assigned to an integer variable, then this process is known as narrowing. Why? Because to the right of the equal to lies a greater variable of the data type, and towards the left of the equal to lies a smaller data type variable. So this is narrowing, and this is not automatic. We may have cases, suppose we define a double variable, suppose d is equal to 12 suppose we define it just to be 12, like double d is equal to 12, and then in the next statement I do int I is equal to d. Then no problem, we can understand it that 12 is a very small integer that can be assigned to integer variable, but it is belonging to, in fact it is declared as a double variable, double data type variable. So in that case it is holding a lot of greater bytes as compared to integer. So this cannot be done. This will, although in our case where the variable 12 is very less in size, so it can fit well in the integer data type variable, this can happen, but it is not allowed actually, because there may be conditions. Suppose we are taking a very huge number or a decimal number in the double value, then if we will assign it to an integer, and if we hope that it is going to be coerced, then it will not happen, because it is against the rules of the Java system. Okay, so it is good as well, because it is not always going to be performing a write operation. So in that case we do not do coercion. So we now know that coercion is done only when there is widening, like if there is a data type variable that is smaller in size to which it is going to be assigned, that is coercion. And typecasting, always we have to take care about, like we will explicitly typecast it, and if you are not explicitly typecasting it and just assigning the value, then it will result into a compile time error. Okay, so datum is some variable, constant or expression whose data type you want converted. Now data type is what you want to be converted to. So the datum is converted to the equivalent value in data type, but itself is left unchanged. Here, as you can see, some examples, like there is an integer m. M is equal to, now what we are doing over here, we are performing explicit typecasting. That is, the programmer has the full authority and he can perform explicit typecasting by performing certain rules. First of all, you can perform typecast by keeping inside the parenthesis the data type in which you want to cast the variable or the constant. Okay, so in this case the first example says that int m, and first of all it is declared integer, m is declared integer, then m is equal to int 10.5. now this 10.5 is by default taken to be double, as I told you in my earlier lecture where we studied the data types, that the default data type for floating point is double. Okay, so this 10.5 double value is cast to integer explicitly. Why? Because the programmer has intentionally put a data type inside the parenthesis, as the syntax says, and it has converted double into int. So what will it do? It will only take that value, or the value of the binary value, or the binary values, or the number in the binary number system that have the first 4 bytes. All other bits are totally truncated. So what happens over here is the 10.5 value is when assigned to m, that is of integer data type, then only it will truncate the decimal part and will assign 10 to it. Okay, so m will hold 10. Now suppose in the next example, as you can see, that int code is equal to int a, and this a is a character data type. Why? Because it is contained inside single quotes. Therefore, it is a character data type variable. So a is to be assigned to an integer variable. Now, what probably it can do? It can only what it can do is the most correct way it should do it already does like that. Like in the a is whenever a character is cast into an integer variable, then it always is assigned, the variable is assigned the character's ASCII value. Okay, so the ASCII value of character capital A is 65. So code, this variable code will point to 65, will contain 65. Okay, so the same thing goes with the other way around. Like if there is 66, there is a constant 66, and this literal is cast into character, and this is explicit casting. Like we are enclosing the data type inside the parenthesis before the literal or the value which we want to be converted into character. As you can see, 66 is an integer. It is going to be cast into character, and what will happen then? It will just be the reverse of the process of the earlier example, that the letter will, the char letter variable will contain the value b. Why? Because now 66 as an ASCII value taken up to be as an integer by the and converted into a character data type, that will show capital B. Okay, because the equivalent ASCII value of 66 is B. So it's very good to understand. Then as you can see, the earlier example which we took up, that int sum and count, there are two integer variables and one double variable, that is an integer, that is average, and avg is equal to sum divided by count. Now what will happen? Int sum comma count, and avg is equal to sum divided by count means if you are providing the value to be 20 and 28 for sum and count respectively, then what will happen is sum will get divided by count, that is 20 will be divided by 8, and it will, the answer will truncate the decimal part and will only keep the value of the integer. So avg will contain 2. Now there is another example. As we can see, we are now providing explicit casting in the next example. Like there is int sum and count, then there is double avj. Avj is equal to double sum divided by double count. This will first change count into double. As you can see, count is integer as prior, but it is converted to double, and sum is also converted to double. So now the data types of sum and count are changed, and they are promoted from integer to double. Then possible division is performed, and the data is stored in average. Now this will not truncate this in this example, because all the three variables that are under question are of double data types, so whole division will occur and it will keep the value of 2.5. Now when typecasts and other operators are mixed within the same expression, the typecasts are executed first unless you change the order using parentheses. This means that whenever there is a short or long expression, no problem regarding it, because the rules are the same for both. What it will do, it will first perform the typecasting before performing any manipulation or computation of that expression. So first of all, the typecasts are performed, and then the operators are the operands are computed by the suitable operators, whatever are there, and the typecast can also be changed in precision by providing by the use of parentheses. Okay. So as you can see in this example, like there is char small comma cap. So two variables are declared. One is small and the other is cap, and both of these variables are of character data type. Then there is then we have assigned character A, capital A to cap. Now what we are doing is we are writing small is equal to, the whole expression on the right side is going to be cast inside into char. Okay, and what is going to be cast is int, that it is first, cap is first, as we have already seen in the earlier statement, what is stated, that we have to first the typecast occur, and then we can also change the precision, the change of associatability. So by using the parenthesis that we have done in this example, like first of all, cap is a char, it is converted into integer. Now what is cap? Cap here is defined to be a character A, okay, and it is converted to integer. That means that this the part lying over here for cap is going to be converted to integer. That means that capital A is going to be converted to integer, means 65, and then it will be added to 32. Why? If this bracket would not have been there, then this character conversion would have been taken at first, but by the use of the parenthesis we have delayed that thing. So first of all, cap is going to be converted into integer. Cap is A, capital A, it will be 65 and means 32, that is 97, okay. And then this 97 will be converted to character, equivalent character, which will be small a. So this is a small program that is changing the case of the character entered, okay. Now we will see the data conversion inside numeric data, like numeric data conversions. As you can see here, what is happening is this figure shows that shows proper data type conversion between Java's numeric data types. Okay, Java will automatically coerce data in the direction of the arrows, either solid or dashed. Like char, whatever. Suppose char. These are all numeric data types. Char is also considered to be a numeric data type. Why? Because it has the property of changing it to be. It gets assigned to a character can also be assigned to a character data type, and integer is also can also be assigned to a character data type. So it is also considered as a numeric data type, character data type. Now what happens is, as you can see, that if we follow the arrows, that byte can be converted to short data type. Char can be converted to int data type. Why is it happening? It is happening because byte is the smallest. Short, if it is going to be converted in any data type, means that it has to be smaller as compared to that data type. Like short is smaller to int. Okay, there is no coercion between character and byte and character and short. Okay, so char can be converted to integer and integer can be converted to long. Since double and float are of greater precision as compared to long, this means that long can also be converted to double and long can also be converted to float. Now float can be converted to double. Okay, similarly integer can be converted to long as well as double as well as float, and the things that are preceding like short and byte can definitely be converted into variables that are of higher storage area. Okay, so this is the diagram that shows how a particular numeric data type can be converted to coerced to another data type. That is automatically, this is automatic typecasting. The program has nothing to do regarding how to do it because the system knows how to do it. Then by taking up the example like int a is equal to capital A, this means that A has the value of 65 assigned to it. B, long B is equal to 6A, that means B is again having the value 65. What they're trying to do is that first of all, as because long and integer both are of numeric data types, so we can assign a character value to it. Okay, then double C gives A. This is also going to store 65.0 because 0.0 will be stored because the data type is double, and in case the data type is double, then it has to store the floating point representation of any number. Okay, so coercions that traverse a dotted arrow are legal but may result in loss of precision. Okay, and meaning that the converted value may not be equal to the starting value. This is something that has to be taken up here. Like int, suppose all the full arrows, all these lined arrows, not dashed lines, but the lined arrows can be converted to corresponding data type. There is no problem. That byte can be converted to short, short to integer, integer to long, and char can be converted to integer, integer to long, no problem, and int can be converted to double. But the problem with these dash data types is that if long is supposed to be converted into double, then this will result into some data loss. Okay, and similarly, if long is converted to, why? Because the size of double and long is the same. Okay, this is the problem, and the long is greater in size as compared to float, so this problem occurs. Here are some examples. Like float d is equal to, this is the number given to it, and then float, then d will be like this, and float e is given, float here, float is given the value of capital L, that is this is a long variable. Okay, so as you can see, it has truncated, and here also double float is assigned a long value, and the full value of the long variable, initially long variable, is not seen to be here. Okay. The compiler will flag as an error any statement that tries to coerce data against the direction of the arrows. If we are performing, this is a simple rule that one must understand, and he should proper know before performing any coercion. Like first of all, there is no need to interfere with the system as regarding to the coercion, because type coercion is automatic, and type coercion is automatic means that the programmer has nothing to do with it. Whenever we are casting a low storage variable to a high storage variable, then there is no problem, and that is automatically cast, and this phenomena is known as coercion. And in case when the long is cast to float or double, or the integer is cast to float or double, then there may be some data loss, and not always, but it can occur. Then, so these are the things. So coercion is automatic, but explicit typecasting is needed whenever we are going to perform the narrowing. And narrowing means that the data type that has to be cast to another data type is greater than the later. Okay, so one thing more that the programmer must keep quite, he should be very careful regarding performing the typecasting, because the typecasting, if it is done not, it can lead to data, it will definitely lead to data loss, and he should be very fine as he should be clear that as to what he is trying to do. You should not always perform typecasting, that is explicit typecasting, that will convert a higher storage data type to a lower storage data type. It will result in data loss. So this should be done normally in those cases in which the value assigned to a data type falls under the range of the data type to which is going to be assigned. Otherwise data will be lost. Like in this example, as you can see, that int g is equal to this long variable cannot convert the 64-bit long to a 32-bit integer. Like this cannot be done. This long variable cannot be assigned to an integer variable. You have to do you have to do explicit typecasting for it. Then float h is equal to 10.375. Here float now cannot convert the 64-bit because we have not provided any. We should write a capital F over here in order to mean that 10.375 is a float variable, because if you are not going to write any F over there, then I told you as before, like the default data type for a floating point value is double. So here it is taking it to be double, and it is going to be assigned. It is going to be assigned to a float data type. So data loss may occur. Therefore, it will raise an error. Now you can use a typecast to specify a data conversion against the direction of an arrow. The compiler won't complain, but be aware that your code may not run correctly. As I told you earlier, that here, if float is going to be assigned to integer, then this can definitely raise error, because float is greater in size compared to integer, and so is double is greater in size compared to long, and float and long also are, as you have seen in the example, that this is causing error long because it is greater in size compared to float. Okay. Now you can use a typecast to specify data conversion against the direction of an arrow. The compiler won't complain, but beware that your code may not run correctly. Okay, this code is fine since 2 divides evenly into. Now this is another example for double and an integer. Like there is a double variable called a, and its value is 10.0. And there's a b variable also of double data type, so it is having the value of 2.0. Now double c is equal to, what we have done over here is that we have divided a by b, and the value we have cast into integer. A divided by b, both a and b are double, so a divided by b will also result into a double, and this double value will be cast into an integer and assigned to the variable c, which is of the double data type. So what will happen over here is 10.0 will be divided by 2.0, and this will result into 5.0, and 5.0 as it's a whole number, so it is a real number, and so what happens is it's converted to int. Now 5 can be 10 divided by 2, that is 5, a divided by b. 5 can be converted, 5.0 can be easily converted into integer because it is not holding any valuable information after the decimal sign. It is just 0, 5.0. So 5.0 can be cast into integer, and this integer, this statement return 5, and again double c will be will point to 5, and it is well converted like 5.0. It will result, if you print the value of c, it will say 5.0. Now this code is potentially wrong because 2 doesn't, now there is no problem with this kind of a code, because here we have taken the value 10 that is going to be divided by 2. There is no decimal value. But suppose if I make the first variable a to be equal to 11 and the fraction to be equal to 2, now 11 is going to be divided by 2. This is a problem because it will result into a decimal value. So first of all, a will get divided by b, that is 11 gets divided by 2, and this will result into 5.5. So in this example, a is getting divided by b, and the values of a and b are 11.0 and 2.0 respectively. So what will happen is 11 will be divided by 2, and this will generally result into 5.5. But since this 5.5 is to be converted into integer as explicit casting over here by providing int inside the parenthesis, so this explicit casting will result into the truncation of the part after coming after the decimal point and just keeping the integer part. So the answer will be 5, and some information will be lost. Now numeric versions for binary operators can be understood in the way that if one operand of a binary operator is double and the other isn't, then the one that isn't is converted to double before executing the operation. See, the rule is that whenever there is an expression and there are different data types, data typed variables, then all the variables before the expression getting computed, all the variables are converted into the highest data type of the highest data type variable, the data type of the highest data type of the variable. That suppose there are 3 data types, int, float, and double, then the expression will first convert all the variables to double, and then the expression will be computed. So as you can see in this example, like double x is equal to a number, a big number, it's an integer, and it's multiplied by 1.0. Since f is not provided, by default it is a double. So this double value is going to be multiplied by an integer. So what will happen is that this integer will then first be converted to double, then these two double numbers will be multiplied, and the answer will be stored in x, which is again a double data type. Okay. Now if suppose if neither operand is floating point, then both operands are converted to integer before executing the operation. We are talking about numeric conversion of data types. So if we have taken up the conditions when the floating point computation is concerned, but now we are dealing with the situations in which there is a change in the data type for integer or the data types that are similar to integer, like byte. As we can see in this example, byte A, B, C, we have created 3 variables of byte data type, and then what we are doing is we are into an expression that is C is equal to A multiplied by B. Okay, this will cause an error. Why? Because A and B are getting multiplied, and A and B both prior to multiplication operation are byte in the data type. A byte is having just 8 bits in it, and suppose okay, no problem if you are specifying a value that is less than 128 to A, and in the same fashion you are specifying the value for B, which is also again between minus 127 to 128. Minus 128 to 127. Then what will happen is the multiplication of these two values may result into a value that is greater as compared to the size of the data type byte. So this will result into an error. So it will definitely be what should be done is that it is wrong to do this kind of a thing, and there should be proper casting into integer before doing this in the first case. Now another example is byte A. You are taking 2 variables A and B, and then there is a short C is equal to into B. What will happen over here is that operands A and B are converted to integer. Okay, operator A and B are getting converted to integer. See, in the above case also there were 2 variables A and B which were getting converted from byte to integer. It will be converted to integer. It will not be converted to short, long, or any other type of an integer, because this is defined by the system that if there is a smaller data type and we have to multiply those two the variables of those data types, then they are automatically in numeric case they are converted to integer. So in this second example, it becomes more clear that when 2 variables are defined to be of the size of a byte, then and the value that is going to hold the multiplication of the 2 variables is a short. So what will happen is A and B will get multiplied, and they will first be converted into integer. Okay, and when they are converted to integer, their multiplication is also an integer, and integer is bigger as compared to short. So C cannot hold the value of integer by default. So what will happen is it will because we have not provided any explicit casting mechanism. So what will happen is the variable C will not be able to keep up the value of an integer. So this will also result into a wrong operation. Okay, now this thing can be dealt by taking the variable on the left side of the equal to, that is left side of the assignment operator, to be integer. Like as you can see here, byte A and B. Okay, there are 2 variables A and B of byte data type, and there is a C variable of integer data type. And what we are doing is we are doing C is equal to A into B. Now A into B, A and B both are of byte data type, and when the multiplication of these 2 variables will occur, it will get they will first be converted into integers and then will be multiplied. So the resultant will also, the product will also be an integer, and since the variable that is going to hold the product of the 2 variables of byte data type is an integer, so it will not result into an error, because the main problem was caused because of different data types having a smaller data type on the left side of the equal to, and a greater data type a greater resultant data type on the right side of the equal to. So this was causing problem. But when we have declared the variable which is going to hold the position of the product, the value of the product of the 2 variables of byte data type to be an integer, then it doesn't result in any error, and it will be okay. Then this is over for this chapter, and thank you for listening to this video. I hope it would have been informative. Meet you in the next video. Thank you very much.